Good morning. I want you to imagine floating in absolute darkness, 3,000 feet below the surface, when suddenly you hear them. Rhythmic clicks, like a Morse code echoing through the abyss. For 60 years, that's all we thought whale sounds were. Simple signals. But in the last 2 years, everything has changed. Scientists have discovered that sperm whales possess something astonishingly close to a phonetic alphabet. Humpback songs follow the same statistical patterns as human language. Today, I'm going to show you why this is arguably the most profound scientific discovery of our decade, and why it changes not just how we see whales, but how we see ourselves. Here's our roadmap. First, I'll share the breakthrough that shattered the old model of whale communication. Then we'll dive into the structural science. What whale songs actually look like when you analyze them with the same tools we use for human languages. From there, we'll explore the cultural and social dimensions of whale societies, the extraordinary AI-powered effort to decode them, and finally, the profound ethical and legal questions this raises for all of us. Let's start with the paradigm shift. Gasper Begush, the linguistics lead at Project SETI, put it bluntly. In the past, researchers thought of whale communication as a kind of Morse code, simple on-off signals. But the new paper in Nature Communications changes that entirely. Sperm whales produce what are called codas, stereotyped sequences of anywhere from 3 to 40 broadband clicks. And here's the key. These codas are combinatorial. That means whales aren't just making isolated sounds, they're combining them into structured patterns, much the way we combine phonemes into words. That is a property we once believed was uniquely human. Now here's where it gets truly remarkable. Project SETI researchers have identified what they describe as evidence of a possible phonetic alphabet in sperm whales, including sounds that function similarly to vowels in human speech. But perhaps even more striking, different whale clans speak different dialects. These aren't genetic, they're culturally transmitted. A sperm whale calf learns the specific coda patterns of its family group, its clan, in the same way a human child learns the language of its community. Luke Rendell at St. Andrews puts it beautifully. These animals are learning from each other in ways that are fundamentally important to their survival and their sense of belonging. Sperm whales click, but humpback whales sing, long, complex, evolving compositions that can last for hours. And when scientists applied the same statistical tools used to study infant language acquisition to 8 years of humpback recordings, they found something that stopped them cold. This finding, published in Science, is breathtaking in its implications. When human infants learn language, they rely on statistical regularities. Certain sound patterns appear much more frequently than others, and this predictability helps them segment the continuous stream of speech into words. That frequency distribution follows what's called a power law, and it's present in every known human language. When the team applied those same infant speech segmentation algorithms to humpback whale songs, they found the exact same statistical structure. Not similar, the same. This convergence, in 2 species separated by tens of millions of years of evolution, strongly suggests that if you have a communication system that must be learned and culturally transmitted, certain statistical properties may be universal. So whales don't just make sounds, they have culture. And I mean that in the strict biological sense, behavior that is learned from others and shared by a group. Cetaceans live in extraordinarily complex matrilineal societies. Humpback songs in particular evolve like pop music. Themes rise, fall, recombine, and spread across entire ocean basins. Research on feeding grounds in northern Norway shows that this evolution is highly directional and not random. New themes emerge, old ones fade or morph, but the song remains structurally coherent. That is cumulative cultural evolution, the same process that gave us everything from the wheel to the symphony. All of this brings us to Project SETI, the Cetacean Translation Initiative. It is, quite simply, the largest interspecies communication effort in human history, and it is powered by the same artificial intelligence that can now translate between any 2 human languages without a Rosetta Stone. Let me take you through how we got here. In the 1960s, biologist Roger Payne dropped the needle on a vinyl record called Songs of the Humpback Whale, and the world listened for the first time. It became the best-selling nature recording in history and helped launch the Save the Whales movement. Fast forward to the 2000s, and digital acoustic monitoring meant we could finally gather enough data to do serious science. By the 2010s, machine learning entered bioacoustics, and suddenly patterns invisible to the human ear became visible to the algorithm. Then in 2020, Project SETI was born, an unprecedented collaboration of linguists, roboticists, AI researchers, and marine biologists. The last 2 years have delivered the combinatorial struct paper in Nature Communications, and in 2025, the first evidence of a phonetic alphabet, alongside the first serious legal scholarship asking what rights these beings might hold. The engine behind all this is artificial intelligence. Project SETI isn't just dropping hydrophones in the water. They're deploying custom robotic sensor arrays, training transformer-based models on millions of CODA sequences, and applying the same computational linguistics frameworks that power ChatGPT and Google Translate. One of the most striking results, the AI can now predict the next click in a sperm whale CODA sequence with significant accuracy, precisely the same kind of next token prediction that makes large language models work. And they're not just capturing sound, they're capturing full behavioral context, video of births, social bonding rituals, and group decision-making events. The combination of sound plus context is what will eventually unlock meaning. That question, posed by Gashper Begish at Berkeley, is no longer theoretical. In October 2025, the Ecology Law Quarterly published a landmark paper co-authored by Begish, Cesar Rodriguez Garavito of NYU Law, David Gruber of CETI, and Ashley Nemeth. Their argument is as provocative as it is rigorous. If whales possess a communication system with human-like structural properties, then existing legal frameworks which treat animals as property may be fundamentally inadequate. We are not talking about giving whales the right to vote. We are talking about whether a being that can communicate in structured, culturally transmitted sequences deserves legal personhood, the same way corporations are legal persons. I'll leave you with this. For most of human history, we defined ourselves by what we thought separated us from all other life: tools, culture, language. One by one, those walls have crumbled. Chimpanzees use tools, dolphins pass down hunting techniques, and now whales, in the crushing darkness of the deep ocean, are combining sounds into structured sequences that look, statistically and structurally, like language. This is not a metaphor. This is peer-reviewed science. The question before us now is not whether cetaceans communicate in complex, culturally evolved systems. They do. The question is whether we have the humility, the wisdom, and the legal imagination to treat that fact with the seriousness it deserves. Thank you.